It's been a while since my last update, but I kind of restarted everything for what, I don't know, the fourth time. I learned of a new technique for building coaster track, and all the rides in the park use it except for this one. They still use the old technique, but I got pretty good with the old technique, so I think this ride still works pretty well. Anyways, I guess we'll go through all of them. So we'll start. Actually, we'll start over here. I'm still working on this one. This is the last roller coaster in the park, and it's a multi-launch coaster, something I don't currently have. So, I'll give you a rundown on the first part. What happened? The train disappeared. Uh-oh. Sometimes that happens. I don't know why. Never mind. We'll come back to that one later. So if we go over here, edit coaster. Ride camera. So this is a single rail TRex coaster. Just the name. I haven't named them yet or themed any of the rides. So that is something I still need to do. I wanted to get all the rides down first and then go back and do everything. So this was the third one I made, I believe, and this is one of my favorites. We start here with a almost vertical drop, and then it turns out and goes into a 0G stall. And come out of here and go into an overbank. We get a good ejector airtime hill into an outer bank turn. We go into an Immelman. After the Immelman, we have back-to-back airtime hills. One's off axis, and then it brings us around to another airtime hill over the station with a wave turn. Low to the ground turn into an S hill, and then a 90-degree turn into the brakes. Note that none of these are 100% finished. I still need to go back and do some track work. So for like here, I need to smooth this out a little bit. And then some other spots. But that's the first one. And then this is the second ride I made. So actually, we'll just hop on the train now. Oh. I wanted the lift hill. So this was the one that I first used. I think the first used the technique. This one or the one I just showed you, one of the two. I think it was the one I just showed you. It was the first time I used the new technique. This is the first one I used a different style lift hill. So with this game you can't differentiate like lift speeds at different spots on the lift hill, which is something real life roller coasters use. So per se, Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens will lift you really fast at the top and then slow down like this. But I had to separate two lift hills, which is something you don't see in real life, but it's the way I solved that issue. And you get to the bottom, hit 89 miles an hour, almost 90. Big floater hill to a low to the ground turn, to a low to the ground airtime hill, and into a treble clef element, which is what it's called. If you look at it from the side, it looks like a treble clef. Hit some trim brakes into our next floater hill. This is kind of a double up, but then we go into here and back down. Low to the ground speed hill to another sort of turning airtime hill, to a helix with a wave turn over the station, which I guess I like those. I did two of those, I didn't even realize that. Continue the helix and into another airtime hill. Basically, we're just going to wrap around with airtime hills back to the station. But this is a B&N Giga, and it's basically what they do. Airtime and turns. Two. Just enough speed to make it over. And then into the brake run. So that's the Giga. What I was saying about the lift hill is, if I come here, you can see there's no lift hill on that track, so this chain pushes into that chain and then it slows it down. In real life there'd still be chain, it's just it has a sensor when you get here to just slow down. So this is next ride, so it'd be a RMC. You've seen a similar ride before, but I didn't like the other ones I made. This is the more complete layout in my opinion, and just a better ride overall. This took me a lot of time. I kept coming back, going, changing things. So yeah. Oh, also the ratings in the top, I kind of want the one on the left around 5 to 6, 3 to 4, and then 0 to 1. So those are all pretty good ratings. There's an airtime hill into an turnaround up here. Back down to the left, the 0G stall. Airtime hill. The 0G roll, elevated, and then back into another turnaround. Airtime, just a lot of airtime on the return run. And then into the station. This might be the one ride I do delete and go back and redo because I really like what I have, but I can make it so much better if I use a 2x banking offset, which is, so I made this with 1x, and 2x banking offset really accentuates the banking of the track, so it overbanks it and allows you to bring it back to where you want it instead of at 1x. It puts it where you want it, and then when you smooth it out per se, so if I go here, it'll underbank it. I mean, this is the max it can be banked there, so let's go here. Right? See, it's gonna take away that airtime hill, and I want that to be there, and then it just gets difficult. So the 2x just over accentuates it, like, and makes it not easier because the way the track moves is completely different. So I had to learn how to use the track. This is just a kid's ride. Kind of just turn, drop, turn, airtime hill, helix, airtime hill, station. Just a little thing for the kids. Sky flyer. This is a SNS scream and swing, so it goes like out and then under like a swing. Drop tower. Oh, I guess I started a mock spinning coaster there. I guess I'll add a spinning coaster. That'd be cool. And then the last complete ride. This one takes a little bit. Is this... No. This is a wood coaster I made, and I really wanted to utilize the terrain, so I built up this mountain, and I built this ride on the mountain. So it's interesting. It has 2 left tails because it needs a left tail to get back to the station, but which is also something I might want to work on, but I'm never done. I've learned that I never finish. There's always something else I want to change or fix or retry, so this is probably one of those. I don't know if I'm really 100% on any of the rides, even though I want to be. I just keep learning and getting better, and I keep wanting to make the rides themselves better, in my opinion. And so, again, I don't know why this lift hill is so slow, but this is where I use the track to slow it down, or maybe to speed it up. I did the reverse there, so boop, low drop here, not big or anything. Wood coasters are different for me because I've experienced very few, and they're so unique in the way good ones are made that so different from the steel rides I've been on that it's hard to emulate, for me to emulate them in this game. So it's something I really want to get better at, and as I ride more in real life, I think I will. But this is my favorite section here. I think this is where I did the best emulating a wood coaster, especially a terrain coaster. Is this area here. You come down, go up and out, back over. And then obviously we won't have enough speed to get back to the top, so I used a lift hill. Honestly, watching this, I'll probably redo this one, but you see the thought process. This is just a little bit, have fun, just back down, turn around, left, and then up into the brakes. So that's that, and done. So I'll probably, it kind of looks like a pretzel. I'll probably redo that one. Honestly, I'll probably just end up redoing all of them, but I like the layout. This one I'm keeping. I like this. I might change a little parts of it and edit it a bit, but yeah. And then, so I guess the train never came back. Let's see. It's just, this is an ongoing thing. Obviously, I've been working on making a park for months now, and you can see the difference. You really can. I'm trying to make these. I love the music. Anyways, you can see the improvement. But once I get like the entire layout, all the theming and stuff, then I can actually work on running the park, which would be fun, because it's also something in the past before this I'd struggled with running the park. It's a lot to keep track of, and it's just so fun to build the rides, so I haven't really done a lot with that. Come on, load. One thing I did learn though is when I was visiting Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute of Technology, one of their students went on to build the Ferris wheel, which was interesting. Hence his last name, Ferris. What was I going to show you? Yes, that's right. The beginning of this ride. So this is a multi-launch. I don't know if I'll make it 3. That's a little too much, especially with the second launch getting up to 70. But I think 2 will be good. So we got a good little section here. This is my own element I kind of created. I don't know. It's like a reverse sidewinder. You go through a little bowl section, overbank, and a wave turn, and airtime hill, turn around, airtime hill. And then this element here is something I took off Phonics, which just opened, which is a stall loop. It's like a vertical loop into a stall, and down like that. So yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen on my actual ride. But I mean, I'll give you, I guess, a couple of minutes because of what it looks like to build, because these are very tedious to build. So banking offset 2, and then you kind of just do it. See, I have no idea what I want to do with this, so I'm just gonna like make it up as I go. Let's see. I need it to. I want to do it like a spaghetti goal, which is everything just look like it's crazy. So I'm gonna go here. And that white line's actually the boundary of the park. Don't like that shaping. Hold up. Bring that down. There we go. So it was red there because it would have made contact. Would have made contact with the track below, or not contact, but see, this is where I used auto tunnel. Bring that down to 4. I don't like auto tunnel a lot. It's very, it's finicky. Makes everything slower too. Oh, wrong thing. Makes everything slower as well. So, what element do I want here? So I have like a list of pre-made elements. So sometimes I use these, like here I'll use it. Sometimes I don't. I like making my elements. Why? Why can't I do that? Let's see. Because making your own elements is really fun. There we go. That's cool. But like, for instance, I'm not very good at making corkscrews. So obviously I'll try to get better at them, but I have a problem with over banking the entrance, so you go in at a very awkward angle. And so I'll use those, but like for instance, everything you see here except for that is made by me with track editing. So like I made this, everything except for this corkscrew here in the station, because those are track presets. So I'm gonna come here. Make sure that's not too fast. That's flying through that corkscrew. Ooh, this could be interesting. Could I turn this into a stall? Huh, I never thought about that. And then out on this side? Let's see. Ah, wrong button. But you just kind of play around with it, and when you find something you like, something that works. Right now I'm smoothing it out. That's what's happening. Find something you like and works. It's kind of like what you do. Just you let it work. Let it eat. So I'm waiting for it to get to the second launch, and then I want to see. So you test it as it goes, just to make sure you're not doing anything absurd that would end up not being realistic. Obviously you can make rides that are unrealistic. A lot of people do, and they have fun with that, which is good, but I like realism. So like, I don't know if this would ever be made like realistically, but like it theoretically could be. Like that's, yeah, way too fast. So for instance, also the turn's underbanked, so that tells me two things. I need to keep that banked longer, and probably need to actually bring it up to run off some speed while banked first, and do something over the station, like a roll. I still think that's too fast, so I'm gonna actually turn that into an airtime hill. Too steep. It's just it's a sort of a trial and too fast. More of a trial and error thing than it is a, if you do one thing right, or you get good at like making one type of roller coaster, there's like people that only make certain types. Like I need to make an invert eventually, which I actually don't have, so I might need to make one of those. And actually, let's go right. It's I don't know. I think you understand what I'm saying. It's a trial and error sort of thing. So I need to run off some speed because I want to make some elements that are kind of crazy. Let's see if I smooth this out a bit. If it... So that's that banking. Actually, I kind of like that. Off axis, it's unique. Gives it a different flair. And then I'm not trying to have people black out like on i305, so I need to bring this up to alleviate G-forces. The faster you're going, if you're turning, you want to bring the height of the track up, increase it, as it will alleviate the G-force put on the rider. So if we come through here, G-force is the middle, 4. Okay. I could actually make that airtime hill a little smaller. And then once I finish this airtime hill, I'll cut the video. But the next update, I think we'll have this ride. The thing you want to stay away from with making rides is the extremes. You don't want to go from extreme airtime, which is negative G-forces, to extreme positive G-forces. It's how people get sick. It's also not safe for the riders to go from, let's say, positive 5 sustained G's to negative 1.5 and then back to positives. The body is just not meant for that. It's like, you don't see that on roller coasters. When it does happen, they have to get changed. For instance, i305 is one that comes to mind. That's a coaster in Virginia, I believe, at King's Dominion, yeah, in Oswell, Virginia. And when they opened it, it was just too intense. So let's see. And they had to go back. Well, first they added a trim brake on the drop to slow it from 90 to 85, and then they went after the season ended and reprofiled the first turnaround because it was so low for so long that the riders were blacking out on it because of the sustained G-forces. It's one of my bucket list coasters, actually. It's not as crazy as it used to be. I don't know why I just did that, but it's still very, very, very good. Obviously, I would have wanted to experience it in an original form, but obviously that's not safe for the general public. I understand the decisions made. What are we at? So, obviously with some more track work and stuff, that's what that will be like. And yeah, I'll keep you updated. And when you see next update, it will be completely different. I promise you that. This will be redone. This will be redone. This will probably be redone. This will be edited. Dang. A couple weeks ago I thought these were so good, and now I'm going back after learning some more new things, and I'm like, okay, I can make these so much better. So which is a good thing. I'm always seeing possibilities to make it better. But thank you for watching.